Hi guys, happy Friday. So you are choosing your story for your final assessment, your literary analysis paper, and I gave you those right here. So go to those and you'll see the PowerPoint I showed you in the video from yesterday. You are choosing it and you're submitting your choice to Google Classroom. There's an assignment already there. You're answering 2 questions. You're answering what story you're picking and why you chose it. So what caught your interest about it. And that is due Monday. I'm pretty sure I put the due date as, just so that you have the weekend to skim through the summarizations of them on the PowerPoint. And also, if you're stuck between a couple, maybe read a few paragraphs of each and be like, okay, which one is catching my interest more? Also, you have your reading log 3 due today. Most of you are doing those really well. It's pretty simple, just book title, and then what is happening in your story currently, and maybe a little bit about the author's writing style and how you're liking it. So we are going to go into first chapter Friday. We're doing Dear Evan Hansen today. I probably will have a different video for the actual reading of the first chapter, but I want to go through the PowerPoint in this one because I'm only like 2 minutes into this video, so let's not waste it. So Dear Evan Hansen. So those are some little blurbs from it. No parent knows what their kid is really up to. We're all just doing the best we can. Just be yourself. Yeah, sure. Okay. Today is going to be an amazing day. So the book, right here. When a letter that was never meant to be seen by anyone draws high school senior Evan Hansen into a family's grief over the loss of their son, he is given the chance of a lifetime to belong. He just has to stick to a lie he never meant to tell. That the notoriously troubled Connor Murphy was his secret best friend. Suddenly, Evan isn't invisible anymore, even to the girl of his dreams, and Connor Murphy's parents, with their beautiful home on the other side of town, have taken him in like he was their own, desperate to know more about their enigmatic son from his closest friend. As Evan gets pulled deeper into their swirl of anger, regret, and confusion, he knows that what he's doing can't be right. But if he's helping people, how wrong can it be? No longer tangled in his once incapacitating anxiety, this new Evan has a purpose and a website. He's confident. He's a viral phenomenon. Every day is amazing, until everything is in danger of unraveling and he comes face to face with his greatest obstacle, himself. A simple lie leads to complicated truths, and this big-hearted coming-of-age story of grief, authenticity, and the struggle to belong in an age of instant connectivity and profound isolation. So those are the authors. There's multiple. And then there's a musical, if you didn't know, and this guy who plays Evan Hansen, he's a pretty popular actor. He was in the Pitch Perfect movies, and this is one of the songs in it if you want to watch some of these videos. And then if you like this book, you may also like Be More Chill by, Ned Fazzini. What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. It's kind of a funny story by also Ned Fazzini, as Be More Chill was, which I have read, and it was a while ago, so, but I read it. It actually is kind of a funny story. And it's very interesting, and it actually is very deep, and it gets really emotional, and it's very real. And I love reading books that have that realistic aspect, and they're really attainable when understanding it. You can relate really well. So let's read the first chapter. Might as well start reading the first chapter in this video. Maybe I'll get through it. Okay, prologue. I may I made my exit. Better to burn out right than to fade away. Kurt Cobain said that in his letter. I watched a video about all the famous ones. Ernest Hemingway, Robin Williams, Virginia Woolf, Hunter S. Thompson, Sylvia Plath, David Foster Wallace, Van Gogh. I'm not comparing myself, trust me. Those people actually made an impact. I did nothing. I couldn't even write a note. Burning is the right way to paint it. You feel yourself getting so hot, day after day, hotter and hotter. It gets to be too much, even for the stars. At some point they fizzle out or explode, cease to be. But if you're looking up at the sky, you don't see it that way. You think all those stars are still there. Some aren't. Some are already gone, long gone. I guess now, so am I. My name. That was the last thing I wrote. On another kid's cast. Not quite a goodbye note, but hey, I made my little mark. On a broken limb. Seems about right. Poetic, if you think about it, and thinking is just about all I can do now. Chapter 1. Dear Evan Hansen. That's how all my letters begin. First the dear part, because that's just what you write at the top of any letter. That's standard. Next comes the name of the person you're writing to. In this case, it's me. I'm writing to myself. So yeah, Evan Hansen. Evan is actually my middle name. My mom wanted me to be Evan and my dad wanted me to be Mark, which is his name. My dad won the battle, according to my birth certificate, but my mom won the war. She has never called me anything other than Evan. As a result, neither has my dad. Spoiler alert, my parents are no longer together. I'm only Mark on my driver's license, which I never use, or when I'm filling out job applications, or when it's the first day of school like today. My new teachers will call out Mark during attendance, and I will have to ask each one to please call me by my middle name. Naturally, this will have to be done when everyone else has vacated the room. There are 1,010,000 things from the subatomic to the cosmic that can rattle my nerves on a daily basis. And one of those things is my initials, M-E-H, meh. Like the word meh. Meh is basically a shoulder shrug, and that pretty much sums up the reaction I get from society at large. As opposed to the surprise of oh, or the wow of ah, or the hesitation of or the confusion of huh, meh is pure indifference. Take it or leave it. Doesn't matter. No one cares. Mark Evan Hansen? Meh. But I'd rather think of myself as which is more like seeking approval, waiting for confirmation. Like, how about that, Evan Hansen, hey? My mom says I'm a true Pisces. The symbol for a Pisces is two fish tied together trying to swim in opposite directions. She's into all that astrology crap. I installed an app on her phone that displays her daily horoscope. Now she'll leave me handwritten messages around the house saying things like, step outside your comfort zone, or she'll cram the day's message into our conversations. Take on a new challenge. A business venture with a friend looks promising. It's all nonsense if you ask me, but I guess for my mom, her horoscopes give her some hope and guidance, which is what my letters are supposed to give me. Speaking of which, after the greeting comes the actual meat of the letter, the body. My first line is always the same. Today is going to be an amazing day, and here's why. Positive outlook yields positive experience. That's the basic concept behind this letter writing assignment Dr. Sherman gave me. I tried to get it out of it at first. I told Dr. Sherman, I don't think a letter to myself is going to help much. I wouldn't even know what to write. He perked up, leaning forward in his leather chair instead of casually sitting back as he usually did. You don't have to know. That's the point of the exercise, to explore. For example, you could start with something like, today is going to be an amazing day, and here's why, and then go from there. Sometimes I feel like therapy is total bullshit, and other times I think the real problem may just be that I can't ever get myself to fully buy in. But I ended up taking his advice, verbatim. One less thing to think about. Because the rest of the letter is tricky. The first line was just an opening statement, and now I have to support that statement in my own words. I have to prove why today is going to be an amazing day when all the evidence suggests otherwise. Every day that came before today was definitely not amazing, so why would I think today would be any different? Truth? I don't. So it's time to power up my imagination, make sure that every single molecule of creativity is wide awake and pitching in. It takes a molecular village to write an amazing pep talk. Because today, all you have to do is just be yourself, but also confident. That's important and interesting, easy to talk to, approachable, and don't hide either. Reveal yourself to others, not in a pervy way. Don't disrobe. Just be you, the true you. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. The true me. What does that even mean? It sounds like one of those faux philosophical lines you'd hear in a black and white cologne commercial. But okay, whatever. Let's not judge. As Dr. Sherman would say, we're here to explore. Exploring. I have to assume this true me is better at life, better at people, and less timid too. For example, I bet he never would have passed up the chance to introduce himself to Zoe Murphy at the jazz band concert last year. He wouldn't have spent all that time deciding which word best captured his feelings about her performance, but also didn't make him come off like a stalker. Good, great, spectacular, luminescent, enchanting, solid. And then after finally setting on very good, end up not speaking to her at all because he was too worried his hands were sweaty. What difference did it make that his hands were sweaty? It's not like she would have demanded to shake his hand. If anything, it was probably her hands that were sweaty after all that guitar playing. Besides, my hands only got sweaty after I thought about them getting sweaty. So if anything, I made them get sweaty. And obviously, this true Evan would never do something so profoundly sad. Great, I'm doing it again, willing my hands to get sweaty. Now I have to wipe down my keyboard with my blanket. And I just typed out and now my arm is sweating too. The sweat will end up sitting under my cast, no air getting in, and soon my cast will take on that smell, the kind of smell I don't want anyone at school to catch even the slightest whiff of, especially on the first day of my senior year. Damn you, fake Evan Hansen, you really are exhausting. Deep breath. I reach into my bedside drawer. I already took my Lexapro this morning, but Dr. Sherman says it's fine to take an Ativan too, if things get really overwhelming. I swallow the Ativan down, relief on the way. That's the problem with writing these letters. I start off on a direct route, but I always end up taking detours, wandering into the sketchy neighborhoods of my brain where nothing good ever happens. So you just decided not to eat last night? It's my mother, standing over me, holding the $20 bill I didn't use. I shut my laptop and shove it under my pillow. I wasn't hungry. Come on, honey, you need to be able to order dinner for yourself if I'm at work. You can do it all online now. You don't even have to talk to anyone. But see, that's not true actually. You have to talk to the delivery person when they come to the door. You have to stand there while they make change, and they always pretend like they don't have enough singles. So you're forced to decide on the spot whether to tip less than you're planned on or more. And if you tip less, you know they'll curse on you under their breath as they walk away, so you just tip them extra and you end up poor. Sorry, I say. Don't be sorry. It's just that this is what you're supposed to be working on with Dr. Sherman, talking to people, engaging, not avoiding. Didn't I just write that exact thing in my letter? About revealing myself, not hiding? I know all this already. I don't need her to keep repeating it. It's like the sweaty hands thing. The more you acknowledge the problem, the worse it gets. Now she's circling my bed, arms crossed, scanning the room like it's somehow different from when she was last in here. Like there's a new answer to the great Evan conundrum waiting on my dresser or hanging on my wall that she can finally find it if she looks hard enough. Believe me, considering how much time I spent in this room, if the answer were in here, I would have spotted it already. I slide my legs off the bed and pull up my sneakers. Speaking of Dr. Sherman, she says, I made you an appointment with him for this afternoon. Today? Why? I'm seeing him next week. I know, she says, staring down at the 20 in her hands, but I thought maybe you could use something a little sooner. So I'm going to stop right here and go on to another video. If you want to continue reading this with me, go ahead and watch my next video, part 2 of this video. All right? Stay tuned.